Alright, I'm streaming, I forgot. Good morning, noon, afternoon, everyone. It's your boy Brainsy. Day 31. It's actually 31 now. Welcome to day 31 of Workout Grind. I'm just gonna put up some titles here of what I currently feel. Do my prayer. God gave me the serenity to accept things that I cannot change, the strength to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Is this a thing that I can change? Yeah. Anyways, how's it going, guys? Welcome to day 31 of Workout Grind. This time we're working with the set B workout, which is going to focus more on the chest and triceps. I'll just preface all of this saying thank you so much for sticking for me for a whole month worth of workout grinds. I'm really truly honored to see myself streaming for 31 days already. I'm pretty stoked about that. I never imagined myself actually streaming. I mean, I did, but I never actually got around to it. So I'm really happy that I've actually been able to do it finally, somehow, in here. Let me check my YouTube actually, see what's going on there. If there's anybody actually listening. I doubt it, but you never know, you know? You never know. There's literally no views in a lot of in a lot of my streams. Nobody really watches them. Except my girlfriend, of course. But yeah. Even she doesn't watch them anymore. Looking back at my streams, they're really cool, you know, seeing myself in this the fucking, what is that called, the thumbnails, instead of just a flat out picture. I want to show myself that I'm working, you know. Look at me, day one, dude. It's pretty all right. Weirdly enough, I'm not that fatigued. And then look at me in my day 30.
Off I went, tracking my spending on chocolate. And there it was, my love for chocolate. Number two, when an expensive pattern emerges, see what that pattern says about yourself. Be curious and inquisitive. At first, it may not be that obvious. So give it a try. The payoff could be huge. Thank you. About ourselves if we take the time to look. And sometimes our money knows us better than we know ourselves. Tracking our finances can reveal what we are in denial of, our hidden biases, our fears, and what might be holding us back. Though it can be difficult and uncomfortable to take a good hard look at our financial behavior, it can reveal some deep emotional truths, some truths that can help us reevaluate our careers, our relationships, and our priorities. So give it a try.
Oh, my laptop actually looked at my stream. I didn't realize. Let me check. I didn't realize that my stream elements are not working anymore. Okay, let me go back to my streams actually. Oh, my baby was watching my stream. That's pretty cute. Hello everybody. Evening. Hi there. Mag-stream ko today. Mag-workout ko. Yep, yep. Ha? Magkakaroon. Simba ka? Okay. Yep. Alright. Sorry, I was just talking to my girlfriend. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna work out with my chest. Yeah, I'm gonna like after I finished doing my chest thing, I'm probably gonna clean my room and do some stupid shit. But yeah, my for some reason my thingy works now. By thingy, I mean the charging port of my laptop, meaning I could charge my smartwatch now, and then it's all Gucci, all Gucci, all good. So yeah, I'm gonna do that. So I'll be able to wear this while working out, which is fantastic, fantastic. I haven't been able to turn this on in Friday and Saturday, and now thankfully in Sunday I'm good. I think I'm also not able to turn it on Thursday. I think So that's not a good thing. Oh, what's this? I watch. What if I? How you doing, man? Are you good? Why are you so light? Oh my god. What happened? Yeah, anyways, wearing it now, which is pretty good. I'm gonna. Yo, look at my bicep, man. I'm not sure if there's any growth in that or anything. Can you see the difference? I don't know. I seem to be alright looking. It might be a sign that I might have to like increase my load. Oh my god. Yeah, anyways, I'm gonna set up a timer to 1 minute and 10, 1 hour and 10 minutes. I don't know, just a buffer, honestly. It's just a buffer. Alright, so I might do a little bit of cleaning because the buffer's kind of big. So yeah, gonna do some cleaning of it for a bit. And I'll try to yeah, like that. Yeah, gotta go to TED. So, in my reading list, I think. Oh yeah, yeah. I guess we need to remove that. Why is that there? Alright, sorry, I'm just gonna do some Genshin stuff. It's gonna be just really brief. It's not that much going on. Shut up. It's gonna take a while. Oh my god, I don't care. I don't really care about this, but okay. Sure. So I actually ran out of money because I got these stupid rewards. Oh wow, that looks cute. Hmm. Yep. Stupid buffer. Okay. I'm just looking for a good playlist this time. Ah, yeah. Perfect.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm so excited to be here. I actually film all my shows here at the Orange County Performing Arts Center. So, innovation is a brain function. It is dependent on the physical health of your brain. So did you know, obviously, your brain's involved in everything you do. How you think, how you feel, how you act, how you get along with other people. At the Amen Clinics, we've looked at over 63,000 brain scans over the last 20 years, and it is very clear to me that your brain is the organ of judgment, personality, character, and innovation. And when your brain works right, you work right. And when your brain is troubled, you are much more likely to have trouble in your life. So what you see on the screen are two brain SPECT scans. SPECT is the study that we do in our clinic. It's a very sophisticated brain imaging study that looks at blood flow and activity patterns. It looks at how your brain works. And it basically shows us three things: areas of the brain that work well, areas of the brain that are low in activity, and areas of the brain that are high in activity. So good activity, too little or too much.
Wait, are you going now? Okay. Oh, okay. Kuya? The what? Even if my buffer is 10 minutes, it's not even enough. God damn. Did double shot, so you know why not? Why not? Look at these. These are still up, man. Anyways, yeah, probably gonna clean up the room a little bit. Just, like a little bit of peace of mind. You know, brain. I think that's important. That's really important. Yeah. I think so. It's just not clean this up yet. Once I get the vacuum on. Just put this up. Yes. This. Yeah. Okay. Bring this downstairs. Yeah, guys, I'm just gonna do a little bit of cleanup. It's not much, but you know. Hopefully nobody peeks and shit. It smells alright. I think I'm pretty sure it does. Probably wear this tomorrow. Maybe. YouTube. Oh. It's alright. It's alright. Good for chunky. Yeah, it's alright. Feel good. Anyways. Let's end. It's still good. Significant issues with this. Can happen. Trashy thing going on over there. I'm gonna pick that up. Where's it back? I'm gonna stand the phone a little bit. I think we really use it. What is this for? What is this? Hey! What it is my charger, man? get all fucked up. Since you're not charging it. So plug this, right? Charge my goddamn power bank. Actually, you know what? Yeah. Is my phone here? Okay. Touch that. The fucking teeth for audio. Just real cool shit. Nice, sir. Nice, sir. Electricity nut. Electricity nut. we bought more and shit, you know? Yeah. Could be. Jesus. No, we don't. Oh man. Okay. What else do we need to try? Yeah, essentially. Someday, man. Someday. That day is Margarita. I'll be having a show. Been meaning to do this for a while. Get to do it. Yeah, I'm also planning on doing that. Oh. Should be it. Alright. It's fresh again. There you go. Starting now. Officially.
And then our Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm so excited to be here. I actually film all my shows here at the Orange County Performing Arts Center. So, innovation is a brain function. It is dependent on the physical health of your brain. So did you know, obviously, your brain's involved in everything you do. How you think, how you feel, how you act, how you get along with other people. At the Amen Clinics, we've looked at over 63,000 brain scans over the last 20 years, and it is very clear to me that your brain is the organ of judgment, personality, character, and innovation. And when your brain works right, you work right. And when your brain is troubled, you are much more likely to have trouble in your life. So what you see on the screen are two brain SPECT scans. SPECT is the study that we do in our clinic. It's a very sophisticated brain imaging study that looks at blood flow and activity patterns. It looks at how your brain works. And it basically shows us three things: areas of the brain that work well, areas of the brain that are low in activity, and areas of the brain that are high in activity. So good activity, too little or too much, and then our job becomes balancing it. The image on your left is a healthy scan. It shows full, even, symmetrical activity. The color doesn't mean anything, it's the shape. The image on the right is an alcoholic scan. Alcohol is directly toxic to brain function. I know many of you believe you have to have your 2 glasses of red wine a day because it's good for your heart. It's not good for your brain. With a healthy brain, it's very clear to me. You're happier, healthier, wealthier, you're wiser, you're more creative, more innovative. When your brain is not healthy, for whatever reason, you had a brain injury, you have a terrible diet, you live in a toxic environment, you're sadder, sicker, poorer, not as smart, you're more rigid, and you're inflexible, which is the opposite of innovation. I've said this tens of thousands of times, and it always blows me away. Your brain is the most complicated organ in the universe. There is nothing as complex as the human brain, nothing. It's estimated we have 100 billion nerve cells, and each nerve cell is connected to other nerve cells, not in a one-to-one connection, but up to 10,000 individual connections between cells, which means you have more connections in your skull than there are stars in the universe. Information in your brain travels at about 268 miles an hour, unless, of course, you're drunk. And even though your brain is only 2% of your body's weight, it uses 20 to 30% of the calories that you consume. So of the breakfast you had this morning or the lunch you had this afternoon, almost a third of it goes to feed 2% of your body's weight. Your brain is the most expensive real estate in your body. On average, you lose 85,000 brain cells a day. And what we've discovered at the Amen Clinics is you can accelerate the aging process with your behavior, or you can decelerate it. How exciting is that? The health of your brain also decelerates innovation, or it accelerates it. So what are the things that hurt your brain? Brain injury should be obvious. I just finished the largest NFL study, brain imaging study on retired NFL players. The NFL is no longer lying about brain injuries. They're taking it much more seriously. Do not let your kids play tackle football or hit soccer balls with their head. Come on, the brain is very soft, about the consistency of soft butter, and your skull is really hard, and it has many sharp, bony ridges. You have to protect it. Drugs and alcohol should be obvious, but what our country has no clue yet, but is learning, is that obesity damages brain function. There are now 10 studies. We just published a study in the Nature journal, Obesity, that says as your weight goes up, the actual physical size and function of your brain goes down. Whoa. That should scare the fat off anyone. I read that study, the first one that came out about 3 years ago. I dropped 25 pounds. I was serious. When it comes to the brain, size matters. You do not want a smaller brain. Smoking constricts blood flow to the brain. Like it prematurely ages your skin, it prematurely ages the brain. High blood pressure, as your blood pressure goes up, the blood flow to your brain goes down. So you need to know your blood pressure on a regular basis, and if it's high, take it serious. Diabetes, standard American diet, environmental toxins, lack of exercise, and something I call ANTS. Automatic negative thoughts, the thoughts that come into your mind automatically and ruin your day. They are the seeds of anxiety disorders and depression. So if this is true, it is, what are the things you can do to help your brain? Positive social connections. Unbelievable. The people you spend time with determine your longevity. Isn't that interesting? If you spend time with people who have healthy health habits, you pick those up because people are contagious. If you spend time with people who do not have healthy habits, you die early. Become very serious about who you spend your time with. New learning, so TED is perfect for this. Whenever you learn something new, your brain makes a new connection. When you stop learning, your brain actually starts to disconnect itself. Diet's absolutely essential. You are consuming the nutrients that are helping you or the toxins that hurt you. The SAD diet, the standard American diet, is not only associated with heart disease, cancer, and diabetes. It's associated with depression, attentional problems, and Alzheimer's disease. Food is medicine or it is poison. Sleep, again, it's absolutely essential because, you know, in 1900 we got on average 9 hours of sleep at night. 2011 we get 6 hours of sleep at night. Less than 7 hours of sleep, you get lower overall blood flow to the brain. Your brain cannot go through that kind of transition in such a short period of human history without there being very serious consequences. And as sleep goes down, weight goes up because your cravings get out of control. So being physically healthy is important, but having anxiety is important. Did you know there are great studies with longevity, and the children who were the don't worry, be happy children die early because they didn't take their health seriously enough. I hope I give you a little anxiety. You know, I'm a psychiatrist by training. I was teaching people to chill out, and what I came to realize is I need to motivate them a little bit and just increase their fear so that the double cheeseburgers are not calling their name. Meditation fooled us. What we thought, you know, meditate, zone out, brain calms down. Absolutely not like that at all. When people meditate, it activates the front part of their brain, which is the most human, thoughtful part of their brain. You want the best antidepressant? It's not Prozac, it's gratitude. You write down 3 things you're grateful for every day. Within 3 weeks, you'll notice a significant difference in your level of happiness. And ant killing means don't believe every stupid thought you have. If you go, okay, Dr. Amen, you've been a psychiatrist 30 years, single most important thing people can do, don't believe every stupid thought you have. Have this little word, this little question in your head, is it true? So when you feel like your husband doesn't love you, is it true? Because when you question your thoughts, you live in a more rational world. Here are examples of 3 60-year-old brains, one with Alzheimer's disease, one that is overweight that has sleep apnea, which is a disaster for brain function, and a healthy scan. Which brain do you want? I know which brain I want. Here are 5 ways brain imaging will change everything you do. The first thing, it will give you brain envy. So I started doing scans in 1991, and was 37 years old, and I scanned my own brain. And I looked at it compared to a lot of other scans, and I went, yuck, too many bumpy places. And I've actually never drank. I got drunk when I was 16. I had a hangover for 5 days. I went, this is not for me. Never smoked, never did drugs. I'm like, so why does my brain look so bad? But at the time, I had a lot of bad brain habits. I only slept 4 or 5 hours a night because I was driven. I was drinking diet soda like she was my best friend. I carried more weight, was under chronic stress, and it showed. And so since I saw my scan and developed brain envy, at 52, I scanned myself again, and it's much younger. My brain looks better. And you know, you can do that. That's the cool thing about the brain. You probably heard about brain plasticity. But if you make good decisions today, well, we found this out with our NFL study, that you can start to improve your brain within 2 months. It's like, how?
Hi and welcome to the Running Channel. I'm Rick, and today, along with Anna, we're going to be delving into the science behind your heart rate, and specifically what your resting heart rate can tell you about your health.
Yeah, we are going to be looking at what resting heart rate is, how to calculate it, and what all the numbers mean.
First though, if you are new around here, please do hit subscribe, because it really helps us keep making videos all about running. And never miss a new one either by tapping on that bell icon. Ooh, I can feel my heart rate spiking with excitement of all those lovely new subscribers. Boom, 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 boom.
The first thing to go through is what exactly our resting heart rate is. You'll often see it abbreviated in any kind of formula relating to our heart rate as RHR. Your resting heart rate is the number of times your heart beats per minute while you're at rest.
It's important to point out that if you have a diagnosed heart condition or take certain medications, your resting heart rate may be affected. There are other factors that can influence our resting heart rate at any given time too, such as the weather. Your pulse may go up a bit in higher temperatures and humidity levels.
Just simply standing up can affect it too. You might find your resting heart rate spikes for about 20 seconds after you first stand up if you've been sitting or lying down.
Stress and anxiety can raise your heart rate too. It may also go up when you're super happy or excited about something.
Your age and weight will affect your resting heart rate number. As you get older, when you exercise, it may take longer for your heart rate to increase and longer for it to slow down afterwards. Your highest heart rate during exercise is also lower than it was when you were younger. People who are overweight can also have a slightly faster resting heart rate. Your sex. On average, women's resting heart rate tends to be anywhere from around 2 to 7 beats per minute higher than men's. Perhaps unsurprisingly, stimulants such as caffeine and nicotine raise your heart rate too.
Resting heart rate can provide a rough snapshot of how well our heart muscle is functioning. And if you track it daily, it can be a good indicator if something is wrong, like if you're coming down with an illness.
Normal resting heart rate values can range from anywhere between 60 to 100 beats per minute. If it falls under 60, it's known as bradycardia, above 100 and it's known as tachycardia.
A slow heartbeat isn't always something to be worried about though. A resting heart rate between 40 and 60 beats a minute is quite common when we're asleep, and also in healthy young adults and elite athletes. Former British cyclist Chris Boardman, who's won 3 stages of the Tour de France, said he had a resting heart rate of 38 at the peak of his career.
So as you get fitter, your resting heart rate value will decrease. It's entirely possible to train your heart through cardiovascular exercise, such as running. After all, your heart is a muscle, and as with any muscle, exercise is what strengthens it.
At the other end of the scale, a resting heart rate over 100 beats per minute could be down to high stress levels, excess caffeine, or a sign of infection. If it's none of those factors, then it could also be a sign of heart arrhythmia or other heart problem, and it's probably worth checking in with a doctor.
To work out your heart rate, there are a couple of options. Firstly, you can do it manually the old-fashioned way by checking your pulse while you're at rest or sitting still. So use your middle and index fingers and place them between the bone and the tendon over your radial artery, which you can find on the thumb side of your wrist. When you feel your pulse, count the number of beats in 15 seconds, times that by 4, and you can calculate your beats per minute. You can also check your pulse over the artery that runs through your neck. Just like with your wrist, place your index and middle fingers on your neck to the side of your windpipe and count the beats per minute.
You can also use your wrist-based heart rate information from a GPS or smartwatch. This data isn't without its inaccuracies though, and things like tattoos and skin tone can affect the readings. So do be aware that the more accurate method is to count yourself. The good thing about heart rate data from a running watch is that it will provide you with long-term data. So although the numbers themselves may not be totally accurate, the trends you see from the data over time can indicate changes in your heart rate. Keeping track of your resting heart rate first thing in the morning can really help spot early signs of illness, overtraining, or general tiredness. If you sleep with your watch on, you don't even have to remember to check.
There are 5 main ways that you can lower your resting heart rate. First of all, exercising. And as we're the running channel, we're going to say it. Running. When you exercise, your heart beats faster and continues doing so for a little while after you finish too. As your heart is used more in this way, it gets stronger.
Stay hydrated. Giving your body plenty of water can make your heart's job easier. Dehydration causes the blood to thicken, which means your heart's working even harder to push blood around. Try to avoid alcohol too. It can contribute to dehydration.
Avoid nicotine and caffeine. They're both stimulants which will raise your heart rate. Smokers have a higher resting heart rate.
Consider losing weight if necessary. Your heart has to work harder to supply your body with blood the bigger it is. Losing weight can help slow an elevated resting heart rate.
Reduce stress. Relaxation techniques can help here. Experts say relaxation techniques like yoga or meditation are effective at lowering high resting heart rates. This is especially true when the high rate is associated with high stress or anxiety.
We hope that's given you an insight into your resting heart rate, how to track it, and what it says about you. Do you pay attention to your heart rate as a runner? Are there any other heart rate related tips you want us to cover in a new video? Well, as ever, tell us in the comments below, and we'll see you next time on The Running Channel.
Alright. Guess it's normal. I guess. I mean, it's not, but you know, what can we do? That's fine.
How exciting is that? And with a better brain, everything in your life is better, from your body to your money to your relationships to the level of innovation. The second thing is, since brain imaging, I would never let my kids play tackle football. When does the brain finish developing? 25. Your brain, and in males, some people think it's more like 28. So the idea that you are an adult at 18, from a neuroscience perspective, is just flat out stupid. And the insurance companies know that. When do your insurance rates change and stabilize? 25. Why? Because you're making better decisions, and the decisions you make are a brain function. So do not let your kids put their brains at risk. You'll take environmental toxins so much more seriously. This is one of the firefighters that we scanned recently. And you see this overall low activity, those holes. He doesn't have physical holes in his brain. What he has is serious overall low activity. You'll take your weight a whole bunch more seriously. And you'll think about the early detection and prevention of Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's disease is expected to triple in the next 25 years. We cannot afford this. And how you prevent Alzheimer's disease is you prevent all the illnesses that are associated with it, like heart disease, cancer, diabetes, depression, and high blood pressure. So, how to create a brain-smart world to accelerate individuals. This is my goal. And we see individuals and families at the Amen Clinics, but we're very interested in schools and churches, businesses and communities. And I love this. Andy came to see me about 4 months ago. First time about 10 years ago when he was 53 and his brain just looked awful. And I got him to buy into the program of brain health. And this is what his brain looked like 10 years later. Isn't that cool? But I want to talk about getting systems cool. And this is what his brain looked like 10 years later. Isn't that cool? But I want to talk about getting systems involved.
Thank
you. Good afternoon. I'm so excited to be here. I actually film all my shows here at the Orange County Performing Arts Center. So, innovation is a brain function. It is dependent on the physical health of your brain. So,
this one.
All right, I want to see a show of hands. How many of you have unfriended someone on Facebook because they said something offensive about politics or religion, childcare, food? And how many of you know at least one person that you avoid because you just don't want to talk to them? You know, it used to be that in order to have a polite conversation, we just had to follow the advice of Henry Higgins in My Fair Lady, stick to the weather and your health. But these days, with climate change and anti-vaxxing, those subjects are not safe either. So this world that we live in, this world in which every conversation has the potential to devolve into an argument, where our politicians can't speak to one another, and where even the most trivial of issues have someone fighting both passionately for it and against it, it's not normal. Pew Research did a study of 10,000 American adults, and they found that at this moment, we are more polarized, we are more divided than we ever have been in history. We're less likely to compromise, which means we're not listening to each other, and we make decisions about where to live, who to marry, and even who our friends are going to be based on what we already believe. Again, that means we're not listening to each other. A conversation requires a balance between talking and listening, and somewhere along the way we lost that balance. Now, part of that is due to technology, the smartphones that you all either have in your hands or close enough that you could grab them really quickly. According to Pew Research, about a third of American teenagers send more than 100 texts a day. And many of them, almost most of them, are more likely to text their friends than they are to talk to them face to face. There's this great piece in The Atlantic. It was written by a high school teacher named Paul Barnwell. And he gave his kids a communication project. He wanted to teach them how to speak on a specific subject without using notes. And he said this: I came to realize that conversational competence might be the single most overlooked skill we fail to teach. Kids spend hours each day engaging with ideas and each other through screens, but rarely do they have an opportunity to hone their interpersonal communication skills. It might sound like a funny question, but we have to ask ourselves, is there any 21st century skill more important than being able to sustain coherent, confident conversation? Now, I make my living talking to people. Nobel Prize winners, truck drivers, billionaires, kindergarten teachers, heads of state, plumbers. I talk to people that I like, I talk to people that I don't like, I talk to some people that I disagree with deeply on a personal level, but I still have a great conversation with them. So I'd like to spend the next 10 minutes or so teaching you how to talk and how to listen. Many of you have already heard a lot of advice on this. Things like look the person in the eye, think of interesting topics to discuss in advance, nod and smile to show that you're paying attention. Repeat back what you just heard or summarize it. So I want you to forget all of that. It is crap. There is no reason to learn how to show you're paying attention if you are, in fact, paying attention. Now, I actually use the exact same skills as a professional interviewer that I do in regular life. So I'm going to teach you how to interview people, and that's actually going to help you learn how to be better conversationalists. Learn to have a conversation without wasting your time, without getting bored, and please God, without offending anybody. We've all had really great conversations. We've had them before. We know what it's like. The kind of conversation where you walk away feeling engaged and inspired, or where you feel like you've made a real connection, or you've been perfectly understood. There is no reason why most of your interactions can't be like that. So I have 10 basic rules. I'm going to walk you through all of them, but honestly, if you just choose one of them and master it, you're already going to enjoy better conversations. Number 1, don't multitask. And I don't mean just set down your cell phone or your tablet or your car keys or whatever's in your hand. I mean, be present. Be in that moment. Don't be thinking about your argument you had with your boss. Don't be thinking about what you're going to have for dinner. If you want to get out of the conversation, get out of the conversation. But don't be half in it and half out of it. Number 2, don't pontificate. If you want to just state your opinion without any opportunity for response or argument or pushback or growth, write a blog. Now, there's a really good reason why I don't allow pundits on my show, because they're really boring. If they're a conservative, they're going to hate Obama and food stamps and abortion. If they're a liberal, they're going to hate big banks and oil corporations and Dick Cheney. Totally predictable. And you don't want to be like that. You need to enter every conversation assuming that you have something to learn. The famed therapist Eb Scott Peck said that true listening requires a setting aside of oneself. And sometimes that means setting aside your personal opinion. He said that sensing this acceptance, the speaker will become less and less vulnerable and more likely to open up the inner recesses of his or her mind to the listener. Again, assume that you have something to learn. Bill Nye, everyone you will ever meet knows something that you don't. I put it this way: everybody is an expert in something. Number 3, use open-ended questions. In this case, take a cue from journalists. Start your questions with who, what, where, when, why, or how. If you put in a complicated question, you're going to get a simple answer out. If I ask you, were you terrified? You're going to respond to the most powerful word in that sentence, which is terrified, and the answer is, yes, I was, or no, I wasn't. Were you angry? Yes, I was very angry. Let them describe it. They're the ones that know. Try asking them things like, what was that like? How did that feel? Because then they might have to stop for a moment and think about it, and you're going to get a much more interesting response. Number 4, go with the flow. That means thoughts will come into your mind, and you need to let them go out of your mind. We've heard interviews often in which a guest is talking for several minutes, and then the host comes back in and asks a question which seems like it comes out of nowhere, or it's already been answered. That means the host probably stopped listening 2 minutes ago because he thought of this really clever question, and he was just bound and determined to say that. And we do the exact same thing. We're sitting there having a conversation with someone, and then we remember that time that we met Hugh Jackman in a coffee shop. And we stop listening. Stories and ideas are going to come to you. You need to let them come and let them go. Number 5, if you don't know, say that you don't know. Now, people on the radio, especially on NPR, are much more aware that they're going on the record. And so they're more careful about what they claim to be an expert in and what they claim to know for sure. Do that. Err on the side of caution. Talk should not be cheap. Number 6, don't equate your experience with theirs. If they're talking about having lost a family member, don't start talking about the time that you lost a family member. If they're talking about the trouble that they're having at work, don't tell them about how much you hate your job. It's not the same. It is never the same. All experiences are individual. And more importantly, it is not about you. You don't need to take that moment to prove how amazing you are or how much you've suffered. Somebody asked Stephen Hawking once what his IQ was, and he says, I have no idea. People who brag about their IQs are losers. Conversations are not a promotional opportunity. Number 7, try not to repeat yourself. It's condescending, and it's really boring. And we tend to do it a lot, especially in work conversations or in conversations with our kids. We have a point to make, so we just keep rephrasing it over and over. Don't do that. Number 8, stay out of the weeds. Frankly, people don't care about the years, the names, the dates, all those details that you're struggling to come up with in your mind. They don't care. What they care about is you. They care about what you're like, what you have in common. So forget the details. Leave them out. Number 9, this is not the last one, but it is the most important one. Listen. I cannot tell you how many really important people have said that listening is perhaps the number one most important skill that you could develop. Buddha said, and I'm paraphrasing, if your mouth is open, you're not learning. And Calvin Coolidge said, no man ever listened his way out of a job. Why do we not listen to each other? Number one, we'd rather talk. When I'm talking, I'm in control. I don't have to hear anything I'm not interested in. I'm the center of attention. I can bolster my own identity. But there's another reason. We get distracted. The average person talks at about 225 words per minute, but we can listen at up to 500 words per minute. So our minds are filling in those other 275 words. And look, I know it takes effort and energy to actually pay attention to someone. But if you can't do that, you're not in a conversation. You're just two people shouting out barely related sentences in the same place. You have to listen to one another. Stephen Covey said it very beautifully. He said, most of us don't listen with the intent to understand. We listen with the intent to reply. One more rule, and number 10, and it's this one: be brief. All of this boils down to the same basic concept, and it is this one: be interested in other people. You know, I grew up with a very famous grandfather, and there was kind of a ritual in my home. People would come over to talk to my grandparents, and after they would leave, my mother would come over to us and she'd say, do you know who that was? She was the runner-up to Miss America. He was the mayor of Sacramento. She won a Pulitzer Prize. He's a Russian ballet dancer. And I kind of grew up assuming everyone has some hidden amazing thing about them. And honestly, I think it's what makes me a better host. I keep my mouth shut as often as I possibly can. I keep my mind open, and I'm always prepared to be amazed, and I'm never disappointed. You do the same thing. Go out, talk to people, listen to people, and most importantly, be prepared to be amazed. Thanks.
Good shit.
You know what's a lot harder than it seems like it should be? Actually feeling alive. And what I mean by that is that we are all constantly doing, or at least we're constantly scrolling, but we're not necessarily living. You know, we keep ourselves busy to the point of exhaustion, but we're also languishing. We feel a little bit dead inside. And I think we know that on some level. I think that's part of the reason we keep ourselves so busy and distracted to begin with, but we don't know what to do about it. So I am here to tell you, I figured out what to do about it. We need to have more fun. So you might think that you're already having plenty of fun, and that's because in our everyday speech, we often use the word fun to describe anything we do with our leisure time, even if it's not actually enjoyable and in fact a waste of time. So for example, we scroll through social media for fun, even though doing so often makes us feel bad about like kind of everything. Or we'll say, that was so fun, we should do that again soon. In response to things that weren't that fun and that we don't want to do again, ever. But it's not really our fault that we're a little bit sloppy about how we use the word fun, because even the dictionary doesn't get it quite right. You know, it says that fun is an amusement or enjoyment or lighthearted pleasure. It's something for kids to have in play areas. It makes it sound like it's frivolous and optional. But if you think back on your own memories that stand out to you as having truly been fun, and I really encourage you to do this, you know, the memories that you would describe as, and forgive me for our scientific terminology, so fun, you're gonna notice that there's something much deeper going on. I've collected thousands of these stories from people all around the world, and I can tell you it's amazing, because when people recount the memories in which they had the most fun, They tell you about some of the most joyful and treasured memories of their lives. So in reality, fun is not just lighthearted pleasure. It's not just for kids, and it is definitely not frivolous. Instead, fun is the secret to feeling alive. So today, I want to propose to you a new, more precise definition of what fun is. I want to reveal some of the ways in which it is astonishingly good for us, and I want to give you all some suggestions for things you can do, starting right now, to experience its power for yourself. So the first thing we need to start with is the fact that fun is a feeling, and it's not an activity. And that's important because a lot of times when I ask people what's fun, they'll respond with a list of activities that they enjoy. You know, they'll say dancing is fun, or skiing is fun, or I don't know, pickleball is fun. Everyone seems to think that pickleball is fun. And sure, pickleball can be fun, but we've all had experiences where something's off and an activity that seems like it would be fun doesn't end up feeling fun. And then on the flip side, we've had experiences where something that doesn't seem like it would be fun at all ends up feeling ridiculously fun. There's an element of serendipity. But when people do have fun, when they experience this feeling, it's actually very easy to recognize because people who are having fun look like they're being illuminated from within. So for example, here's me and my husband having fun together. Here are some presidents having fun together. Here's Archbishop Desmond Tutu and the Dalai Lama having fun together. Actually, those two seemed like they were very often, even constantly, having fun together. And as you can see in these photographs, true fun produces this visceral sense of lightness and joy. It's radiant. In fact, when I asked my daughter when she was about 5 years old what color fun would be, she said sunshine. So what is this sunshine? You know, what is this feeling that we call fun? Well, when people tell me their stories about fun, it's really interesting because the details are all different and often quite mundane, but the energy running through them is the same. And there are three factors that are consistently present to the point that I believe they constitute a new definition, one that is a lot more accurate than what's in the dictionary. And those three factors are playfulness, connection, and flow. So by playfulness, I do not mean you have to play games or, God forbid, make believe. I just mean having a lighthearted attitude of doing things for the sake of doing them and not caring too much about the outcome, letting go of perfectionism. When we have fun, our guard is down and we're not taking ourselves too seriously. Connection refers to the feeling of having a special shared experience. And I do think it's possible in some circumstances to have fun alone and for this feeling of connection to be with yourself or the surroundings or the activity. But in the majority of stories that people tell me about their peak fun memories, another person is involved. And that's true even for introverts. And then flow is the state where we are so engaged and focused on whatever we're doing that we can even lose track of time. You can think about an athlete in the middle of a game or like a musician playing a piece of music. It's when we're in the zone. And it's possible to be in flow and not have fun, like if you're arguing, but you cannot have fun if you're not in flow. So playfulness, connection, and flow all feel great on their own. But when we experience all three at once, something magical happens. We have fun. And that doesn't just feel good, it is good for us. In fact, fun does so many amazingly good things for us that I personally believe that fun is not just the result of human thriving, it's a cause. So for example, fun is energizing. When people tell me their stories about fun, they glow. It is like a fire has been lit inside of them, and the energy and the warmth that they give off is contagious. You know, so much of life drains us, but fun fills us up.
Yes, that's trash now. Just said.
Fun also makes us present. A lot of us put a lot of work into trying to be more present. You know, we do yoga classes, we meditate, and that is all great. But the fact that fun is a flow state means that when we are having fun, we simply are present. There's no other way for it to happen. Fun also unites us. We live in a really polarized world, and as we all know, there's a lot of very serious problems. But when we have fun with people, we don't see them as different political parties or nationalities or religions. We connect with them as human beings. And it's worth noting that that is the first step in being able to work together to solve those problems. Fun also makes us healthier. Now, being lonely and stressed out, as many of
Sorry guys, I'm just gonna 9-gag for a bit.
Señorita, le envió un hermoso detalle, señorita, con mucho cariño, mucho amor, señorita. El patrón, su papá Roberto, hoy le quiere decir, en este día muy especial, te mando este hermoso detalle, y el patrón le manda a decir que la quiere y que la ama mucho y que pronto van a estar juntos. Tú y tu hermano con mucho amor y cariño de tu papá Roberto, que la quiere y la ama muchísimo, señorita. Y él no podía permitir que usted siguiera siendo una espectadora.
Señorita Emily, ¿algo que le quiera decir al patrón?
¡Un aplauso para la señorita!
That's cute.
Es
What the fuck? All right, I'm done. Let's go back. I'm doing it, man. I'm doing it.
Can you hear me calling out your name? You know that I'm falling and I don't know what to say. I'll speak a little louder, I'll even shout. You know that I'm proud and I Can you hear me calling out your name? You know that I'm falling and I don't know what to say.
That's cool.
Now where do you think you're going? The party is this way! And trust me, it's to die for! I know we'll be the best of friends, so there's no need to run. The sooner you get dead, the sooner you can join.
Yo, fuck them. Alright, let's go back.
Have been for the past 2 years causes hormonal changes in our bodies that increase our risks for disease. But when we have fun, we're relaxed and we're more socially connected, both of which have the opposite effect. So it kind of blows my mind every time I think about it this way, but having fun is a health intervention. And then lastly, fun is joyful. You know, we all so desperately want to be happy. We read books about happiness, we download apps about happiness, but when we are in a moment of having fun, we are happy. So it makes me think that perhaps the secret to long-term happiness is just to have more everyday moments of fun. So how do we do that? How do we have more fun? Well, to start with, do not take the suggestions you will find in magazine articles about how to have more fun. So I looked up some of these myself, and I found suggestions that include, and I'm not making these up, roast a turkey. Put together an altar to loved ones who have passed. Watch a documentary about climate change. And my personal favorite, adorn your table with gourds. So those are not good suggestions. Instead, the most effective thing you can do to have more fun is to focus on its ingredients, by which I mean do everything you can to fill your life with more moments of playfulness, connection, and flow. So here are some ideas for how to do so. So to start with, reduce distractions in order to increase flow. Anything that distracts you is going to kick you out of flow and prevent you from having fun. And what's the #1 source of distraction for most of us these days? Oh, thank you. It's rhetorical, but yes, your phones. Now, I wrote a book called How to Break Up with Your Phone, so I have strong feelings about this, but I can guarantee you that you are not going to have fun if you are constantly on your phone. So today I want to challenge you to keep your phone out of your hand as much as possible so that you can take me up on my second suggestion, which is to increase connection by interacting more with other human beings in real life. Now, I know that one of the main reasons we're constantly on our phones is specifically to avoid having to spend time and interact with other human beings in real life. So I want to assure you that it is worth it, and it is not as hard as it might seem. So here's how you do it. You start by making eye contact with someone. Like, look them in the eye. Don't look like in the middle of their forehead where the camera would be on a Zoom call. All right? And you say hello. And if that goes well, you can introduce yourself. And if that goes well, maybe you can ask them a question, maybe something that's like thought-provoking but not overly personal or threatening. Something like, what's something that fascinates you? Or what's one thing that delighted you today? You might be amazed by how good just one little moment of connection can make you feel. And if you do find someone to connect with, maybe ask them to join you in trying my third suggestion, which is to increase playfulness by finding opportunities to rebel. Now, I am not talking about James Dean level rebellion. I'm talking about playful deviance. I'm talking about finding ways to break the rules of responsible adulthood and give yourself permission to get a kick out of your own life. So, for example, one person told me that some of the most fun she'd had in recent memory happened on a Friday morning when she and some of her friends ditched their work and their childcare responsibilities, tucked flasks into their purses, and snuck out to a 10:30 a.m. showing of the movie Bad Moms. So, lastly, here's one more thing that you can do today to start having more fun. I am just kidding. Prioritize it. That might sound totally obvious, but one of the main reasons we're not having enough fun is that we're not making it a priority. You know, our fun is always at the bottom of the list, and it can't speak up for itself. So I'm not suggesting that you take out your calendar and make an entry that says from 4 to 6 p.m. on Saturday, I shall have fun. That is a guaranteed way to not have fun. But if you know you consistently have fun when you spend time with a particular person, make a point to spend time with that person. If you know there's an activity that really does often generate playful connected flow for you, carve out time for it in your schedule. Treat fun as if it is important, because it is. I've been doing this myself for a couple of years now, and it's amazing to see how many areas of my life fun has touched. You know, I'm more creative and more productive. I'm more resilient. I laugh more. Making sure that I am having enough fun has made me a better partner, and a better parent, and a better friend. And it has convinced me of something that I very much hope I can convince you of as well, which is that my daughter was right. Fun is sunshine. It's a distillation of life's energy. And the more often we experience it, the more we will feel like we're actually alive. Thank you.
Still have 6 minutes, so. Let me look for some cool stuff. All right, go ahead.
6 Minute English from bbclearningenglish.com.
Hello and welcome to 6 Minute English. I'm Neil.
Say 6 minutes.
This is the program where in just 6 minutes we discuss an interesting topic and teach some related English vocabulary. And joining me to do this is Rob.
Hello. Sorry, Neil. How long did you say this program is?
6 minutes. It's 6 Minute English, Rob.
Right, okay. Sorry, what's your name again?
Neil. My name's Neil, Rob. What's happened to your memory?
Oh, sorry, Neil. Too many things on my mind. It's affecting my short-term memory. But what I can remember is that in this program, we're talking about improving our memory.
We are, and I think you might find it quite useful. Storing information is an important function of our brains, and scientists are always looking at ways to improve it, but also to stop it deteriorating or becoming worse.
Yes.
Let's go, scientists.
And we all know that memories, that's the noun for things we remember from the past, are nice to have, but also important for remembering who people are, where things are kept, and how things look.
Soon we'll be discussing a new idea for improving your memory, but not before I've set today's quiz question. There are many ways we can improve our memory, but one way is through the type of food we eat. According to the BBC Food website, which type of food supports good memory function? Is it A, eggs, B, spinach, or C, bananas?
Well, as a kid, I was always told that spinach was good for me. Popeye ate it to make him strong. So I'll say B, spinach.
Well, I'll have the answer later on. Now, let's talk more about improving our memory. Memory is the ability to encode, store, and recall information, but a number of factors can affect people's memory processes, including health, anxiety, mood, stress, and tiredness.
That's why, for example, if you're taking an exam, it's important to get a good night's sleep and to keep healthy. But Neil, when you're revising for an exam, what helps you to remember facts?
I tend to write things down again and again and again and again.
Well, that's one way, but people have different styles to help them remember. According to the BBC's I Wonder Guide, there are 3 different styles: visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. That's learning by doing and practicing something over and over again. That sounds like me.
But recently, a new study has come up with a method that could possibly be the best way to improve your memory, and that's by drawing. Daryl O'Connor, who's Professor of Psychology at the University of Leeds, has been speaking about it on the BBC Radio 4 programme All in the Mind. See if you can work out why.
The authors certainly argue that one of the things that happens is by drawing these particular objects, that it leads to this increased contextual representation of the object in one's mind. It makes a lot of intuitive sense, the idea that if you have encoded something in a greater level of detail, it's likely you're more likely to remember it. It's much stronger than just remembering, writing down the words.
Okay, so let's try to explain that. Drawing something leads to increased contextual representation of the object. When something is contextual, it is in the situation where it usually exists.
So, as you draw something, you're creating a picture in your mind about what it is, how you use it, and where it's used. I wonder if this means artists have good memories.
Maybe. Daryl O'Connor says that when you draw, you are encoding something in a greater level of detail, more than you would by just writing things down. Encoding is changing information into a form that can be stored and later recalled.
That's because, as you draw, you're thinking about different aspects of the object. He says it makes intuitive sense. Intuitive means it's based on feelings rather than facts or proof, so you just feel it's the best thing to do.
Of course, this is just one more way to improve your memory. I have also heard that doing crossword puzzles and Sudoku can help, especially when you're older.
Yes, as we get older, we can often have more difficulty retrieving information from our memory. And people with Alzheimer's find it very difficult to encode information. So any way to keep our memory working is a good thing. Basically, we need brain training.
Brain training and eating the right food, Rob. You might remember that earlier I asked you, according to the BBC Food website, which type of food supports good memory function. Is it A, eggs, B, spinach, or C, bananas?
Spinach.
And Rob, you said?
I do remember, and I said B, spinach.
And that is sort of the wrong answer. In fact, they were all correct. They are all examples of food that can help support good memory. Apparently, foods rich in B vitamins are important as they provide protection for the brain as we age and support good memory function. I think it's time to change my diet. Now on to the vocabulary we looked at in this program.
So today we've been talking about our memory. We use our memory to remember things, and memories is the noun for things we remember from the past.
Then we discussed the learning style known as kinesthetic. That is, learning by doing and practicing something over and over again.
We heard from Professor Daryl O'Connor, who talked about contextual representation. When something is contextual, you see it in the situation where it usually exists.
Next, we talked about encoding. That is, changing information into a form that can be stored and later recalled.
And we mentioned intuitive sense. Having an intuitive sense means doing something based on feelings rather than facts or proof. So you just feel it's the best thing to do.
And finally, we mentioned Alzheimer's, a disease affecting the brain that makes it difficult to remember things, and it gets worse as you get older.
Well, there are lots of new words to remember there, but that's all for this programme.
Don't forget to visit us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and YouTube, and our website, bbclearningenglish.com. Bye for now.
Thank you, BBC Learning English. That's really informative. I'm gonna eat eggs, bruh. I'm already eating that anyways. So, that's the end of my workout grind. Successfully finished all.
Goodbye.
3 sets, no hitch, no skips, no nothing of that. I did a little bit of rest, but I did, in the end, finish all sets. I just clutched everything in a short span of time to compensate for the loss of time, you know? Oh, damn. Interesting. Alright, anyways. I'm really thankful that my watch held back a little bit. It didn't die down on me in hour 2, which is fantastic. It's a bit of a down curve from lasting to 10 hours to just barely 2 hours now. Oh, not this one. This one, not you. Talking about this guy. Oh, shit like that. Yeah. Thankfully it charges. Alright, so that's it. I'm just gonna take a bath. I'm really grateful that I'm gonna practice gratitude apparently because TED Talk tells me so. I'm gonna meditate for some reason. I'm really grateful that I've been able to successfully finish another workout grind for the past 2 weeks. Last week I was really scared because I might lose my, consistency. I haven't really worked out for 2 weeks straight. Not because I didn't really feel like doing anything. It's because I was really tired from going into the gym every Fridays. Yeah, there was a time I was going into the gym with Walter, one of my classmates. They have a free gym in their apartment. So we went there and I did kind of like basically everything. Back, cardio, bench press, like the actual bench, all these sort of shit. And for the first week, for the first time that I've been into that gym, I was really sore. Like my chest, really sore. I can't even walk. I can't even like stand up at that time. In Saturday, I was really in bad state, so I kind of skipped on working out in that time. And then in the next week, I was telling myself like, hey, okay, I'm just going to focus more on cardio and just light workouts, because this might affect my performance in trying to consistently try workout grinds in my designated schedules. So I did light workouts here and there. But then suddenly I still feel like I'm way too fatigued to try and consistently do something. So I did end up skipping that time as well. So I was kind of disappointed. I was a little bit scared that I might not be able to keep this up, but thankfully I did manage to bring it back due to sheer force of habit. I'm really thankful for that. Today as well, I also cleaned my room, just in case you want to see. That's my room now. I'm putting my thing there. I'm not gonna put it anywhere else anymore and just stay there. Just so I don't have to take it out and put it there every time. Which is I think that's cool. And yeah, pretty cool stuff. I also brought up a new deodorant because mine is running out low now, so might be a good idea to proactively put some already. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. My MacBook for some reason is a little bit warm now. It doesn't really happen often, so it's kind of surprising, but yeah, and that's that. What can you do? Anyways, so I'm really it's nice. I feel good. It's like I'm back, baby. So today my goal is to do some programming. I'm gonna try to knock down an hour in that 11-hour tutorial. So it's gonna take a while because essentially it's like every 15 minutes of that video I take like an hour to finish because I need to apply, or I didn't follow some of his instructions properly, so I kind of fucked it up and I had to find the error in my code, so that takes a while. So yeah, an hour means basically what, 5 hours, 4 hours for the programming and 1 hour for the watching the video. So yeah, 5 hours. It's kind of wow, it's kind of big, so I'm gonna try to keep that in mind.
What else? So yeah, I'm gonna take a bath right now, but before I start my programming, I'm gonna try to meditate and yeah, meditate, do some programming. I'm gonna do that downstairs just in case I kind of relapse, and then by force of habit, old habits that were established here by playing Genshin and stuff, I'm gonna try to disassociate the environment that I work and the environment where I play, just to avoid that kind of stupid shit. So yeah, I'm gonna work downstairs. I'm gonna move all this thing there, and yeah, I'll see what happens. You know, I'm feeling good. It's a bit rainy outside. I opened my window and just, you know, let some sunshine in and wind come in to remove the stink in my room, because man, I am gooning here, bro. No, I'm not gooning. I'm more of like, you know, there's some junk shit and it's really smelly here. Not gonna lie. It's better now, which is good. So yeah, that's it. Life is good. Yesterday I did apply for my APN. I already explained that yesterday. My sister is a little bit is coming in and out in the hospital now. She's about to have her CS in Monday, so she's gonna like have her baby in Monday, which is we're preparing for that, like just setting up some things, cleaning up the house and shit. I watered the plant and just pulled out some weeds in the front yard, and yesterday I also pulled out some weeds in the backyard. So yeah, feels good. Yeah, having some little sunshine outside, a little bit of an activity doesn't hurt. I think the energy that I'm having actually just now that I realize is this 2 double tablet shot of my energy pretty good stuff. I noticed in my smartwatch as well, my maximum heart rate during the workout is just 160. I remember last time it was like 180, so that's a big improvement. I hope that keeps on going lower and lower, because what I've realized last time when we were at the gym and I was doing like I was in the treadmill with Sandy, one of my classmates as well. And then this treadmill has this heart monitor, right? You just hold onto the handles and then it automatically like detects your pulse or something, I don't know. And then it shows up in the panel your heart rate. So I was trying that, and I was just walking, man. It's just at the beginning of the treadmill, I was just walking and it's already reading at about 120 BPMs. Which is okay, whoa, crazy. I guess that's alright. It's like the zone 2 in Galaxy Watch apparently. It's a zone 2 heart rate, which is not that. It's alright. You know? And then I look at Sandy's heart rate monitor. I suggested him like, hey man, try putting your hands in that little thingy. And then he did. We both started the treadmill at the same time, relatively. And his reading is around 80. Bro, I was like 40 BPMs higher than Sandy, man. Sandy's like 19 years old. So I'm like 5 years older than the guy. I guess that contributes to that as well. But honestly, man, I don't know. I don't know what got my heart rate really high. Lots of hospitals, man. I think I've been to around 2 hospitals before, and there was like, whoa, what the fuck's wrong with your heart rate, man? It's higher than normal. Are you nervous or something? Are you scared of the hospital? I'm like, I don't think so. I'm not really scared or anything. I'm pretty much relaxed for my standards. So that's a little bit of a tell sign that something's a little bit wrong in my heart, and I'm trying to fix that. I did some cardio when I was in college as well, just working out, jogging every Saturday. I'm not sure if that helped, but I don't really see any changes. Maybe I have to be more consistent with my cardio and stuff like that, you know? So yeah, I'm gonna try to, that's why I listen to some cardio tips while during workout. If you've been listening in my stream, you probably hear that. Apparently it's normal. Some it could be attributed to stress, which I think I am. I'm not sure. I'm not as stressed as before anymore, or at least that's how I feel like I'm at this state right now. What else? They also attribute it to your weight. So if you can't tell, there's a little bit of a beer belly going on in my stomach, and I don't like it. That's why I'm doing cardio, and that could also be the lead contributor to why my heart rate is getting higher. But at the time that my heart rate is also high, when several years ago, I'm not this heavy. I don't have this much weight, so I don't think it's that necessarily as well. My sister could be attributed to this as well. My pre. Who knows? Like I said last time as well, I don't really drink coffee before, and my rate's still up. Maybe before, I don't have the caffeine, I don't have the weight, but I do have the stress. So now it's been replaced with something else. Maybe that I'm not really sure. I'm just making up a lot of theories here based on other professionals' videos or something. Who can really tell in the end? Anyways, I'm gonna take a bath right now, and then I'm gonna meditate and stuff. Hopefully this time I can actually commit to the things that I've been telling you, which is I'm gonna do some programming, and I'm gonna do some, I don't know, some stupid shit that is probably, productive and stuff. Anyways, I hope for the people who are watching this, which is none at the moment, that was like streaming, I hope you guys are doing well, I hope you guys are grinding, still keeping your consistencies. If you have a skill that you need to master, it's definitely trying to be consistent in doing something. Doesn't matter if you're shit, doesn't matter if you have talent or whatever there is. Having a consistency to do and practice and really be mindful of how you're going to approach your growth in a particular thing goes a long way. It could get you to a lot of places, man, honestly. So yeah, be consistent, and I hope you guys have a great time. I'm going to take a bath now. Right, see ya, bye.